Have you ever stood at a crossroads in your life, holding on to a relationship or a friendship not because it brings you genuine joy, but simply because it's a comfortable, familiar place? It's like a warm, worn-out sweater that you can't bring yourself to throw away, even though it's quietly holding you back from truly flourishing, from reaching for something more. What if I told you that the act of letting go isn't a sign of failure, but rather the most profound act of self-love and courage you could ever undertake? What if ancient wisdom, forged in the fires of time, held the key to navigating these complex, emotionally charged landscapes, guiding you not towards isolation, but towards deeper, more authentic connections and a life truly aligned with your highest self? It's a tough pill to swallow, isn't it? The stark revelation that sometimes the people closest to us, the ones we've laughed with, cried with, and shared countless memories alongside, might not be meant to journey with us forever. It's a poignant, heartbreaking moment of clarity that can feel both devastating and strangely liberating. But here's where the timeless wisdom of Stoicism shines a transformative light on our most modern dilemmas. The Stoics, with their powerful insights into human nature and the relentless pursuit of a fulfilling life, remind us that personal growth often demands we make hard, yet intentional choices about who we allow into our inner circle. This isn't about heartlessly cutting people out or abandoning those we care about with cold indifference. Instead, it's about meticulously curating our lives with a sense of purpose, choosing to invest our energy in relationships that genuinely uplift, inspire, and courageously challenge us to be our absolute best selves. So, if you're standing at that crossroads right now, feeling the immense weight of a decision that could redefine your entire path, know this: you are absolutely not alone. Today, we're going to dive deep into the very heart of Stoic wisdom. We're going to explore the unmistakable signs, the red flags, that it might be time to lovingly and gracefully release certain ties. This isn't about carelessly severing connections, but about mindfully making space for new growth, for deeper, more authentic connections, and for a life that truly aligns with your highest virtues. Stay with me as we embark on this journey together, guided by the timeless teachings of Stoicism, ready to discover the profound freedom and unshakable peace that come from choosing our relationships with both unwavering wisdom and immense courage. What if the very person you've been relying on is actually the biggest obstacle to your future self? Stick around, because the first sign on our list might be the wake-up call you never knew you needed. It's not just about them, it's about you, red flag 1. When a relationship stifles your growth, let's talk about a major red flag. A critical warning sign you absolutely cannot afford to ignore. What if a relationship is actively stopping you from growing? Think about that for a moment. Have you ever found yourself feeling completely stuck, like you're simply not moving forward in life because someone close to you isn't cheering you on? Or even worse, they're actively holding you back, perhaps subtly undermining your efforts or actively discouraging your most heartfelt ambitions. It's an incredibly tough spot to be in, isn't it? A kind of invisible cage built from familiar habits and unspoken rules. Seneca, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, was passionately committed to the power of personal growth and relentless self-improvement. He firmly believed that to truly live a life worth living, we must constantly evolve, learn new things, and courageously push our own boundaries. So, if you find yourself in a relationship, be it with a friend, a family member, or a romantic partner, and you feel like you're simply unable to grow, Seneca would unequivocally tell you that's a red flag you cannot ignore. Now, I'm certainly not suggesting that every single relationship in your life has to be about pushing you to your absolute limits or setting world records. That's an unrealistic expectation. However, the people who genuinely care about you, who truly have your best interests at heart, should inherently want to see you flourish. It's truly worth taking the time to have a brutally honest heart-to-heart with yourself. Ask yourself these difficult but necessary questions. Why am I still clinging to this relationship? These aren't easy questions to confront, but they are absolutely essential. Because here's the unvarnished truth. True connections, the ones that are genuinely worth your precious time and emotional heart, should fundamentally lift you up. They should inspire you and make you feel like you are capable of being more today than you were yesterday. Stoicism, as a philosophy, teaches us the profound importance of surrounding ourselves with people who contribute positively to our lives. It's not about accumulating a vast number of friends or simply being liked by everyone. It's about meticulously curating a close circle that truly enriches your life, actively encourages your growth, and deeply aligns with your core values. So, if you consistently find yourself in a relationship that feels more like quicksand than a powerful launching pad, it might be a crucial time to seriously reconsider its place in your life. Remember, it's not selfish to want to grow. It's profoundly human. And sometimes, genuine growth means having the courage to let go of those who hold us back, not with bitterness or anger, but with profound gratitude for the valuable lessons learned and the quiet strength gained from knowing when to gracefully say goodbye. Ever wondered why some people seem to be in a perpetual state of drama? Our next red flag dives into the emotional vortex that can silently suffocate a relationship. Stay with me, because understanding this could be the key to reclaiming your peace. Red flag 2. Constant negative emotions. We've all felt it at one point or another, being caught in a swirling whirlwind of negative emotions within a relationship. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where it consistently feels like drama is the main course and genuine support is, well, not even on the menu? It's utterly exhausting, isn't it? Like you're constantly bracing for the next emotional storm. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, had some incredibly powerful insights into dealing with our emotions. Realizing this profound truth is where our true power lies, and it becomes an absolute game changer when you apply it to relationships that seem perpetually filled with jealousy, anger, or any other negative emotion that appears to dominate the landscape. Think about it deeply. If your relationship consistently feels more like a battleground than a safe haven, it's sending a signal, loud and undeniably clear, that something fundamentally has to give. These intense emotions, while certainly a part of the complex human experience, absolutely should not be the foundation or the defining traits of any relationship that is truly meant to last and bring you genuine peace. Now, I'm certainly not suggesting that we can or should ever aim to live without ever feeling angry or jealous. That would be as impossible as trying to breathe without air. But what Marcus Aurelius powerfully teaches us is that we are firmly in the driver's seat when it comes to our reactions to these emotions. If a wave of jealousy arises because a friend seems to be effortlessly moving forward in life while you feel frustratingly stuck, or if anger bubbles up every time a certain someone subtly undermines you, remember this vital truth: you control your reaction. You have the profound choice not to let these emotions dictate the terms of your relationship or your inner state. But what does that actually look like in practice? It fundamentally starts with awareness. It means recognizing when you're feeling these emotions and then courageously asking yourself, why am I feeling this way? What deeper lesson can I learn from this? These are by no means easy questions, but they are absolutely essential ones. And sometimes the healthiest, most stoic reaction is to wisely create distance or make a significant change. It's not about cowardly running away from problems or avoiding difficult conversations, but rather about acknowledging that if the very core of a relationship is more about pulling each other into draining, negative spirals rather than consistently lifting each other up, it might be time for a serious reassessment. This doesn't mean you've failed, or that the other person is necessarily a villain in your story. It's simply recognizing, with clear eyes and an open heart, that not every relationship is meant to endure every single season of our lives. And profoundly, that's okay. The Stoics were huge proponents of the idea of living in accordance with nature, and sometimes the natural, healthy course of things is to simply grow apart. So, if you consistently find yourself wrestling with an onslaught of negative emotions in any of your relationships, take a quiet moment to reflect deeply on Marcus Aurelius's profound wisdom. Remember, you have ultimate power over your mind, your reactions, and ultimately, The choice to surround yourself with relationships that are deeply rooted in positive, supportive energies. It's only in these nurturing environments that we can truly thrive, grow, and find genuine peace. Ever feel like you're more of a puppet than a partner? The next red flag is about something even more insidious than negative emotions. It's about who is holding the strings. You might be shocked at how subtly this can take hold. Red flag 3. Manipulation and control. Now, let's tackle a tricky, yet absolutely crucial topic: the pervasive role of manipulation and control in our relationships. In any kind of relationship, feeling like you're more of a puppet than an equal partner is a massive, unmistakable red flag. Think about that powerful statement for a moment. True freedom, according to Epictetus, comes from deep within ourselves, from being fully in control of our own actions, our own decisions, and ultimately, our own lives. So, what does it truly mean for us when we find ourselves trapped in relationships where we feel like we are not the ones calling the shots? Where our fundamental decisions, our deepest desires, and even our most private thoughts seem to be under someone else's persistent control? It's a sign, loud and clear, that something is profoundly wrong. Manipulation and control can subtly sneak up on us in various insidious forms. It might be incredibly subtle, like constant suggestions that gently steer you away from your true passions and authentic self. Or it can be overtly aggressive, like outright demands dictating who you should be, what you should do, or even how you should feel. These behaviors are absolutely not the hallmarks of a healthy, thriving relationship. True connections, the ones that are genuinely worth our precious time and profound emotional investment, are fundamentally built on unwavering mutual respect and absolute freedom. Stoicism powerfully teaches us about the paramount importance of autonomy, of being the absolute master of your own ship, so to speak. If you find yourself in a relationship where you're constantly second-guessing your own choices, or consistently feeling like your wings are cruelly clipped, it's worth asking yourself a critical question. Why? Here's the thing about this. Cutting ties with someone who is actively manipulating or controlling you isn't about being harsh, unkind, or vengeful. It's about profoundly honoring your own intrinsic worth, fiercely protecting your autonomy, and unequivocally asserting your fundamental right to lead a life that is authentically true to you. It's about truly taking Epictetus's wisdom to heart and bravely reclaiming your freedom. The freedom to make your own choices, to grow, to explore, and to live a life that is deeply aligned with your most cherished values. And yes, making the monumental decision to step away from such relationships can be incredibly tough, often agonizing. It might mean letting go of something deeply familiar, or even someone you care deeply about, despite their damaging behavior. But remember, Stoicism isn't about always choosing the easy path. It's fundamentally about choosing the right path. Sometimes, the undeniably right path is the one that courageously leads us away from what actively harms us and bravely guides us towards a more authentic, truly fulfilling existence. True relationships, the ones that genuinely enrich our lives and make us better people, are those that inherently respect our individuality and fiercely champion our freedom. They actively encourage us to explore, to question, to grow, and to become the fullest versions of ourselves. They certainly don't try to mold us into something we're not, nor do they dictate how we should live our lives. Ask yourself if it's finally time to courageously cut those strings and wholeheartedly embrace the profound freedom to be authentically, unapologetically you. It's a journey absolutely worth taking, a monumental step towards a life where you are firmly in control, surrounded by relationships that consistently uplift and profoundly respect your autonomy and inherent freedom. What if the price of a relationship is your peace of mind? If you're tired of walking on eggshells, the next section is for you. We're talking about the silent, emotional toll that some connections take, and how Stoicism teaches us to protect our most precious resource. Red flag 4. Emotional drain and constant stress. What happens when a relationship, instead of being a source of comfort and joy, starts to do more harm than good. What happens when the time you spend with someone consistently leaves you feeling more drained than energized, more stressed than genuinely supported? It's like you're constantly walking on eggshells, caught up in an endless cycle of arguments, or just feeling a persistent sense of dread whenever they're around. These are glaring, unmistakable red flags that something is seriously, fundamentally off. Healthy connections, the kind we all deserve and should actively strive for, are supposed to feel good. They are genuinely meant to enrich our lives, bring us joy, and steadfastly support us through both the ups and the downs. They are absolutely not supposed to complicate our lives with constant, debilitating stress or make us perpetually question our own worth. The Stoics were all about living in harmony with nature, including our own intrinsic nature, and pursuing a life of virtue and profound tranquility. They deeply believed in the importance of maintaining relationships that are genuinely in line with these core principles. So, if you find yourself in a relationship that is constantly pulling you away from your inner peace, from being your absolute best self, it's worth considering what the Stoics might advise. They would likely encourage us to take a courageous step back and examine the situation with objective clarity. Ask yourself, is this relationship truly contributing to my overall well-being? If it's the latter, it might be a crucial time to seriously question whether this connection is truly serving your highest good. Remember, Stoicism teaches us the invaluable worth of self-awareness and the immense courage required to make difficult decisions that profoundly align with our long-term well-being and deeply held virtues. It's not about being cold or unfeeling. It's about recognizing with profound clarity what is truly beneficial for us in the long run. And sometimes that means making the tough, courageous choice to distance ourselves from relationships that, despite our best efforts, do more harm than good. This isn't to say that every rough patch or disagreement automatically means a relationship is toxic or should be immediately ended. Absolutely not. But if you're consistently, perpetually feeling worse because of someone's presence in your life, it's an undeniable sign that something significant needs to change. Healthy relationships might certainly have their challenges and occasional conflicts, but at their very core, they are unwavering sources of support, unconditional love, and mutual growth. Imagine trying to build a house on shifting sand. Our next red flag reveals what happens when the very foundation of respect is missing. This is a deal breaker, and understanding why could save you from years of heartache. Don't skip this one. Red flag 5. Lack of mutual respect. Lack of mutual respect is another absolute deal breaker. Without respect, there is simply no foundation for anything positive or lasting. Without respect, what do we truly have? It's like trying to build a beautiful house on shifting sand. Eventually, everything is just going to collapse into ruin. The Stoics, who were pretty big on the whole concept of living a virtuous life, placed a huge, unwavering emphasis on self-respect and the profound respect we inherently owe to others. They deeply believed that every individual possesses inherent worth and undeniable dignity, and this fundamental belief should be clearly reflected in how we treat each other in all interactions. So, if you consistently find yourself in a relationship where you're simply not being treated with the dignity you undoubtedly deserve, it's a massive, glaring red flag. It's not just about feeling undervalued or ignored. It's about recognizing that a fundamental, sacred aspect of your very humanity is being carelessly disregarded. Mutual respect is the bedrock, the absolute foundation of any healthy connection. It's the essential ground upon which trust, genuine love, and profound understanding are meticulously built. If that crucial element is missing, then what's truly left? You're left with a relationship that is hollow, profoundly unfulfilling, and frankly, not truly worth your precious time and valuable emotional investment. Now, I can almost hear some of you saying, but what if it's not that simple? And that is a perfectly fair and understandable point. Relationships are inherently complex, and emotions are incredibly powerful forces. But here's where the profound wisdom of Stoicism can expertly guide us. The Stoics were all about clarity, unwavering rationality, and living in deep alignment with our highest values. They would courageously encourage us to take a deliberate step back and rigorously assess our relationships through this powerful lens. Ask yourself, am I truly being authentic to myself by staying in a situation where I'm consistently not respected? If the honest answer is no, then it might be a crucial time for a serious reassessment. This doesn't necessarily mean cutting someone out of your life with cold, surgical precision. Instead, it's about recognizing your own intrinsic value and making decisions that unequivocally reflect that profound self-worth. It might mean setting clearer, firmer boundaries, or perhaps having a brave, heart-to-heart conversation about how you're truly feeling and what you need. Or, in some unfortunate cases, it might mean bravely acknowledging that it's simply time to move on for your own well-being. Remember, respecting yourself and courageously insisting on being treated with respect by others is not selfish, demanding, or arrogant. It is a profound reflection of the self-worth that the Stoics deeply believed each of us should diligently cultivate. Are you living in a beautiful lie? Our next red flag is about the seductive danger of illusions and why the truth, no matter how painful, is the only path to real freedom. If you're ignoring the signs, this is your reality check. Red flag 6. Living in illusion, not reality. Have you ever felt profoundly tethered to illusions rather than embracing stark reality? Stoicism, at its very heart, is fundamentally about acceptance. It's about accepting the undeniable reality of our lives, our relationships, and the world around us. Not as we wish them to be, but as they truly, authentically are. The Stoics, with their deeply pragmatic and grounded approach to life, teach us that there's profound strength and liberating freedom in seeing things clearly, without the distorting rose-colored glasses that illusions so often provide. So, what does this truly mean for our relationships? Well, it means taking a hard, honest look at them and courageously asking ourselves whether they are genuinely rooted in reality, or if we're desperately holding on to a comfortable fantasy. Are we actively ignoring glaring red flags, glossing over persistent issues, or meticulously painting a picture of someone that simply doesn't quite match up with who they really are, deep down? If so, we are absolutely not doing ourselves, or perhaps ironically, our partners, any genuine favors. Being perpetually tethered to illusions in a relationship can feel eerily like being stuck in a mirage in the desert. From a deceptive distance, everything looks perfect, beautiful, and inviting. But as you bravely get closer, you devastatingly realize it's nothing more than an illusion, lacking all true substance and core truth. This isn't to say that hope and aspirations have no place in relationships. They absolutely do and are vital. But there's a delicate fine line between having healthy aspirations for growth and losing ourselves completely in pervasive fantasies that ultimately detract from our crucial ability to authentically engage with the genuine, unvarnished nature of our connections. Embracing the truth, as the Stoics would powerfully advise, is about courageously confronting these illusions head-on. It's about possessing the immense courage to recognize and accept the stark reality of our relationships, even when that reality is uncomfortable, painful, or deeply disappointing. This is by no means an easy task. It requires a profound level of honesty and raw vulnerability that can be incredibly daunting. But there's incredible, liberating power in truth. It's the very foundation upon which genuine, truly meaningful relationships are meticulously built. What happens when your relationship asks you to betray yourself? The next red flag is about compromising your values, and why this is a betrayal far worse than anything another person can do to you. This is a non-negotiable. Red flag 7. Compromising your core values. Compromising your core values should absolutely, unequivocally never be on the table. Your values are the fundamental principles that guide you, the unwavering moral compass that directs your decisions, your actions, and ultimately, the entire course of your life. Now, here's a question that might hit closer to home than we'd like to admit. What truly happens when a relationship actively challenges those very values? When it persistently asks you to compromise on what you hold most dear, what you believe in your very core. It's an incredibly tough scenario, a deeply unsettling conflict, but it's one that undeniably demands our most serious attention. And you guessed it, Stoicism has some truly invaluable insights on this profoundly important matter. The Stoics would forcefully argue that compromising our core values for the mere sake of a relationship is a price far too high to pay. Why? Because our values are the very essence of who we are. They profoundly shape our identity, intricately influence our choices, and powerfully dictate how we interact with the world around us. To compromise on these is to lose a part of ourselves, to betray our deepest self. And that, my friends, is a loss no relationship, no matter how cherished, is truly worth. Being in a relationship that constantly requires you to act in ways that fundamentally contradict your deepest values can be insidious. Maybe it starts with small, seemingly insignificant things at first, tiny compromises that feel negligible. But over time, these small compromises insidiously start to add up, slowly eroding your fundamental sense of self and the cherished principles you live by. This isn't just about making sacrifices or healthy compromises, which are, of course, normal and essential parts of any healthy relationship. No, this is about profoundly betraying the very core of your being, the foundational integrity of who you are. The Stoics powerfully teach us that integrity and virtue are not just lofty, abstract ideals, but practical, actionable guides for living a truly good, meaningful life. Ever feel like you're the only one giving in a relationship? The next red flag is about reciprocity, and why a one-sided connection isn't just frustrating, it's fundamentally unsustainable. We'll show you how to identify this imbalance and what to do about it. Red flag 8. Lack of reciprocity. One-sided relationships. When we talk about reciprocity, we're fundamentally talking about the vital balance of give and take between people. It's about mutual support, where both parties genuinely contribute to the relationship in a fair, equal measure. But what happens when this crucial balance is completely off? When you consistently find yourself in a one-sided relationship, constantly giving, pouring yourself out, but rarely, if ever, truly receiving in return. It's a frustrating situation many of us have faced, and it's far from ideal. Reciprocity is not just a nice-to-have. It's absolutely key to the long-term health, vitality, and longevity of any relationship. Think about it deeply. A relationship where one person is perpetually the giver and the other is constantly the receiver is fundamentally, irrevocably out of balance. This profound imbalance can lead to intense feelings of resentment, utter exhaustion, and a deep sense of underappreciation on the part of the tireless giver. On the flip side, it can foster unhealthy dependency or even a sense of entitlement on the part of the receiver. This inherent imbalance fundamentally undermines the very essence of what a healthy, thriving relationship should truly be. Now, the Stoics had a lot to say about the inherent nature of relationships and the paramount importance of mutual support. They deeply believed in the profound value of contributing to the well-being of others, but never, ever at the expense of one's own well-being. For the Stoics, the ideal relationship was one of profound harmony and mutual respect, where both individuals consistently support each other in their shared pursuit of virtue and a truly good life. So, if you're stuck in a one-sided relationship, it's truly worth taking a quiet moment to reflect deeply on the Stoic principles of balance and unwavering mutual respect. This next red flag is a non-negotiable. It's the most important one on our list, and if you're experiencing it, you need to hear this now. It's about abuse in any form and why Stoicism demands you take decisive action to protect yourself. Your life could depend on it. Red flag 9. Abuse in any form. This is a hard, deeply unsettling subject to tackle, but it's absolutely crucial we talk about it directly and unequivocally. Abuse in any form, be it physical, emotional, verbal, or psychological, is a clear, unmistakable, and unequivocal signal that it is time, immediately, to leave the relationship. Stoicism, a philosophy deeply rooted in the foundational principles of dignity, unwavering self-respect, and the intrinsic value of the human spirit, unequivocally condemns any and all forms of abuse. Such reprehensible behavior not only flagrantly violates the core Stoic principles of respect for oneself and others, but also utterly destroys the very foundation of trust, safety, and security that all relationships should, by their very nature, be built upon. Stoicism powerfully teaches us the paramount importance of recognizing our inherent, profound worth, and firmly insists on the absolute necessity of maintaining our dignity and unwavering self-respect. These are not just lofty, abstract ideals. They are practical, actionable guidelines meant to courageously direct our actions and choices, especially when we are faced with significant adversity. When we find ourselves in dire situations where these fundamental principles are being violated, Stoicism urgently urges us to take decisive action, not out of vengeance or retaliatory anger, but out of profound respect for ourselves and the innate, sacred value of our own well-being. Abuse mercilessly tramples on dignity and self-respect. It seeks to diminish the victim's sense of self, to cruelly control, and to instill debilitating fear. This is antithetical to absolutely everything Stoicism stands for and cherishes. Are you trapped in a cycle of misunderstanding? The next red flag is about failed communication and why it's the silent killer of relationships. We'll give you the Stoic framework for breaking this cycle and finally being heard. Red flag 10. Failed communication. Failed communication can be an incredibly tough hurdle to overcome in any relationship. What happens when communication within a relationship consistently fails? When repeated attempts to talk things out lead nowhere, leaving you feeling frustrated and unheard? When finding common ground feels like an insurmountable Sisyphean task, and mutual understanding seems like a distant, unattainable dream? This isn't just a minor bump in the road or a temporary misunderstanding. It's a clear, persistent red flag signaling deeper, more systemic issues that urgently need addressing. And you guessed it, Stoicism, with its timeless wisdom, has some profound guidance for us here too. Effective communication is the very lifeblood of any thriving, healthy relationship. It's how we express our deepest needs, share our inner thoughts, and authentically connect with one another on a meaningful, intimate level. Without it, we're essentially navigating our most important relationships completely in the dark, constantly guessing at what the other person is truly thinking or feeling, and inevitably getting it wrong more often than not. The Stoics deeply understood the invaluable worth of clear, honest communication. They actively practiced it in their own lives and passionately encouraged it in their teachings, emphasizing the paramount importance of truly listening, genuinely understanding, and thoughtfully responding with both wisdom and profound empathy. So, what exactly do we do when communication persistently breaks down? First, it's absolutely crucial to recognize that failed communication is often merely a symptom of more profound, underlying issues. It could be a deep-seated lack of trust, unresolved resentments festering beneath the surface, or simply a fundamental difference in communication styles. Whatever the root cause, Stoicism teaches us to approach the problem with a clear head and a willing, open heart. It powerfully encourages us to look inward, meticulously examining our own role, however small, in the communication breakdown, and to tirelessly strive for crystal clarity and unwavering honesty in all our interactions. Is your relationship costing you your peace of mind? This is our final red flag, and it might be the most powerful one yet. We're going to talk about the Stoic principle of tranquility and why protecting it is the ultimate act of self-care. Red flag 11. Consistent disturbance of inner peace. Picture this: a relationship that, instead of being a soothing source of peace and comfort, feels more like a constant, raging storm, perpetually disturbing your inner calm and leaving you feeling deeply unsettled, anxious, or perpetually on edge. It's tough, isn't it? when the very connections that are supposed to enrich our lives end up consistently costing us our precious peace of mind. This is a clear, undeniable signal that it's time to pause, reflect deeply, and fundamentally reassess the role such a relationship plays in your life and your overall well-being. Stoicism, a profound philosophy that has stood the rigorous test of centuries, places immense, unwavering value on tranquility. It teaches us to diligently cultivate a state of deep inner calm, an emotional equilibrium that remains largely undisturbed by external circumstances, no matter how chaotic they may seem. The Stoics firmly believed that peace of mind is not just a precious asset. It's absolutely essential for living a truly good, virtuous life. They taught that we should tirelessly strive to maintain our equanimity in the face of life's inevitable ups and downs, and this profoundly includes navigating our relationships with both wisdom and sharp discernment. So, what exactly do we do when a relationship consistently and persistently disrupts our tranquility, leaving us feeling agitated and drained? First and foremost, Stoicism powerfully encourages us to take a deliberate step back and examine the situation with objective clarity. Ask yourself, with honest introspection, why does this relationship so consistently disturb my peace? This crucial process of self-examination is absolutely vital because it courageously moves us from a reactive, emotionally charged place to one of thoughtful, rational response. Cultivating a life of virtue and peace. As we part ways today, I deeply hope you carry with you the timeless Stoic principles we've courageously explored together. Let them be a guiding beacon, illuminating your path through the complex challenges and profound joys of your relationships. And remember, the noble pursuit of tranquility, unwavering virtue, and deep wisdom is a journey we are all on together. One deliberate step, one courageous decision, one transformative relationship at a time. If this profound conversation has sparked within you a deeper desire for more exploration, more understanding, and more personal growth, I warmly invite you to dive even deeper into our shared journey. Right here on your screen, you'll see a carefully curated playlist that will take you even further into the expansive world of Stoicism, its core principles, and how they can be powerfully applied to every single facet of your life. So go ahead, click on it, and let's continue to grow together, to bravely challenge ourselves, and to diligently cultivate lives of profound meaning, deep purpose, and genuine joy. Thank you for joining me today. Until next time, keep striving for that invaluable tranquility, keep seeking profound wisdom, and always remember, in the intricate tapestry of life, we're all deeply connected through our shared humanity and our universal quest for a truly good, fulfilling life. I'll see you in the next video.